Maha Amatya Timmarasu, the name written in golden letters in the history of Vijayanagara Empire. Fondly called as Appaji by the greatest Vijayanagara Emperor Krishnadevaraya, Timmarasu occupies a special place in the history of Vijayanagara. Not just Vijayanagara's history, but the entire South Indian history, and not just South Indian history, but in the entire Indian history. He was a clever man, a shrewd politician, a greatest statesman, and also an author of many books. Such multifaceted Timmarasa and his life account is full of bright and dark chapters. This episode is about a particular life account of Timmarasa that so far has been remained as a mystery in our history. The purported murder of Krishnaraya's son caused a lot of turmoil within the apparatus of administration of Vijayanagara Empire. Krishnadevaraya, taken aback by the sudden demise of his son, developed doubts about the involvement of his Prime Minister Timmarasu. Due to this suspicion, which has loomed large and occupied his mind, Krishnadevaraya caused Timmarasu's confinement, and what you are seeing right behind me is being called as jail in which Timmarasu has been confined. That's how the dark chapter of Timmarasu's life began. And a curtain down of a magnificent chapter of Vijayanagara history began. So, after the sudden and sad demise of young prince, Krishnaraya took to illness. Out of anger and frustration, Krishnaraya stripped the prime ministerialship from Timmarasu. He not only dismissed Timmarasu, but he dismissed his younger brother, Saluva Govindaraja, also from the royal services. And sadly, Krishnaraya also passed away in the year 1529. So, now the question arises as to what happened to Timmarasu. Did he survive the post-Krishnaraya period, or did he pass away much before Krishnaraya's death in 1529? These are the most intriguing questions to which we can know the answers only from knowing the inscriptions. So, let us find the answers for these questions by walking into the world of inscriptions. Join me and I will take you into the world of inscriptions. There are legends popular among the people that Timmarasa was blinded for poisoning the young prince and jailed in Penugonda fort. These stories give an impression that Timmarasa might have died in captivity at Penugonda. As he was much elder to Krishnaraya, it is generally thought that his death would have occurred before Krishnaraya's demise in the year 1529. But two inscriptions from Tirumala temple and one from Govindaraja Swami temple in Tirupati reveal the last phase of Timmarasa's life. These inscriptions talk about the selling of Timmarasa's and his brother Govindaraja's share of prasadams from the donations they made few decades before. To understand the background of these strange sales made by Timmarasa, we must travel back to the year 1512, when Timmarasa, as the Mahapradhani of the emperor, visited Tirumala and instituted a large donation. In the Shaka year 1433, in the month of Pushya, which corresponds with 13th January 1512, Timmarasa along with his wife Lakshmi Amman, visited Tirumala temple. He donated a village situated in Pottapinadu to God Venkateshwara and fixed certain proportions of Naivedyams to be offered on specific days, such as days corresponding with his and his wife's birth stars. Similar donations were made by Govindaraja, the brother of Timmarasa. It is the donor's share of prasadams which Timmarasa transferred through a sale deed. This outright sale of donor's daily share was quite unthinkable in those days. The first inscription was dated 26th February 1536. This inscription can be seen on the west side wall of second prakara of Tirumala temple. In this sale deed, Timmarasa transferred the donor's share of his brother Govindaraja for a price of 4,600 panams. The buyer of these shares was none other than Tallapaka Tirumalayangar, the eldest son of great Telugu poet-composer Tallapaka Annamaya. The second inscription was found in Govindaraja Swami temple in Tirupati. This inscription is inscribed on the inner side of the east wall of a first Gopura of Govindaraja Swami temple. This inscription talks about a transaction worth 5,203 panams which was paid by Tallapaka Tirumalacharya to Timmarasa. The third inscription, dated 28th December 1536, talks about a sale of Naivedyams worth 1,900 panams. This inscription can be seen on the west wall of second prakara of Tirumala temple. Analyzing these strange transactions of donors' share of prasadams by Timmarasa, T.K.T. Raghavacharya, the author of History of Tirupati, remarked that an outright sale of donors' share in perpetuity was an unheard of until 1536 AD. Donors have been usually men in well-to-do circumstances who would consider it a pious act to distribute their share free to pilgrims in a holy place like Tirumala Hills. These three sales therefore deserve special notice for more reasons. There is no other instance of a similar sale in the history of this temple. The vendors were the great ex-Pradhani Timmarasa and his younger brother Govindaraja. The sales we are now considering bear testimony to the financial ruin which overtook the famous Pradhani. Between the years 1525 and 1535 AD, he seems to have got on somehow in his seclusion. But his poverty was gradually driving him to the necessity of finding money by the sale of the 1/4 share of prasadams which, as a donor, he was receiving all these years and which was being used for maintaining the flower garden and feeding a few hungry pilgrims. His own poverty was being kept under veil. The great Pradhani had ultimately to veil the donor's share in perpetuity to Tallapaka Tirumala Iyengar, who perhaps was the only one in Tirumala who could afford to purchase. T.K.T. Raghavacharya further observes that the financial peril of ex-Pradhani reached the ears of the then Emperor Achyutadevaraya and touched his heart. There is an inscription which probably records his reaction to this heartbreaking news of Timmarasa's plight. Achyuta's inscription, dated 12th January 1537, details the distribution of the prasadams constituted by the emperor. According to this, a 1/4 share of Appaprasadam shall be delivered to a particular person named Appayyan. Raghavacharya opines that though the receiver's name is mentioned as Appayyan, the actual benefactor was Saluva Timmarasa himself. Achyuta Devaraya directed the temple authorities to hand over a portion of prasadams to the gardener who was maintaining a flower garden in Tirumala. His name was Appayyan. He is none other than the son in law of Timmarasa. This action of Achyutaraya was meant to be an indirect help to Timmarasa and was done in such a manner which would not hurt the feelings of ex Pradhani. Thus, the systematic study of inscriptions that have spread across different locations tell us that the history what we know or what we heard could be different from the history that it is. This curious case of Timmarasu, where the popular idea was that Timmarasu might have died soon after his confinement in Penugonda jail, gets proven wrong, and it proves that Timmarasu outlived Krishnadevaraya for many years and he was living in an exile and he was living peacefully and maintaining a low profile. Thus, the proper study of inscriptions can give us a chance to rebuild our history. Through this episode, Team Anveshi is giving its clarion call to everyone to kindly preserve the inscriptions and other historical artifacts lying in your location. Please intimate about them to the local authorities so that the concerned authorities can take measures that can prevent the further erosion or further loss of information from those inscriptions or the historical artifacts. Let us fulfill our responsibilities and pass on a clean and clear history to our future generations. Thank you for watching this video. Please do share this video with others so that the historical narratives can be reached out to many more people. Please do subscribe to Anveshi channel. Enable the bell icon such that you can stay tuned with our latest videos. We will meet you again in a new episode of Into the World of Inscriptions soon. Till then, stay safe and stay connected to Anveshi channel. Thank you. Namaste.